and welcome to the Stonery. We are here to smoke weed and talk about weed. Grab your cannabis and let's get into it. Just a little section for announcements. If enough of you guys listen and leave me a 5-star review, I'm going to try and do a giveaway on 420. I've talked about it with Vincent. It's probably gonna be the first versions of like merch, and then I'd like to, depending on where you live, buy a cannabis product that's legal in your area and ship it to you directly, or something else. We might figure out. I don't know how I feel about shipping it, even though I know it's not illegal. Like it is legal. It just stuff I don't want to fuck with is the law, and so we'll figure that part out later. It's definitely gonna be like a little merch box, and then possibly a little cannabis treat, or maybe a cannabis gadget treat. You know, like it'll be a fun thing no matter what that's cannabis related. Another thing I want to mention, I don't know if you saw it on the Instagram for the podcast, but I shared about Supernatural Weed, which I believe is a woman-owned business, and this business, I like what they're doing. Their style is cute, simple. Their weed really good. I cannot wait to share with you how I feel about that weed for a review, but that is of course not today's topic. But I wanted you guys to go check out Supernatural Cannabis. They are so cool, and they ship really quick. Like, I got my weed very quick. And they have this flower sampler that I'm eyeing that gives you a gram of 4 different strains that they have. I might do that. Like, next time I have money for weed, I might spend it at Supernatural Weed. And I'm probably going to be talking about it a lot more. But you guys probably want to hear about something else. As you might have noticed, the title of today's episode is the Cannabis Tour of Asheville. So it is on stuhelmfoodfan.com/Asheville Cannabis Tours. And it is Asheville's original 420 tour. You should see a bear smoking a joint blunt. I always mix them up, so I'm gonna say both of them and be wrong about it, no matter what. I feel like blunt is tobacco leaf, but joint is like a paper, but I don't know what the shape of that one is and whether it's, yeah, I guess which one it is. This tour was so much fun, and it runs every Friday, it says. It was, honestly, for the weed you get and smoke along the way, it was amazingly priced. I want to do it again. I'm taking a trip to Massachusetts, but hopefully when I get back, me can save up and go take another cannabis tour, because this was really fun. But we got to Little Amsterdam early and went to a place nearby to get food. But it was meh. I wasn't thrilled with it. But thankfully, this was a cannabis tour run by somebody who does food tours, and we actually stopped for food, and there was food in the goodie bag. There were little treats in the goodie bag, edible and candy. So he knows his audience for sure. So in total, we went to 7 dispensaries, I think, and we went to 1 restaurant. But the restaurant gave us a cannabis cocktail, so it still was a cannabis stop. And man, that cannabis cocktail was amazing. I haven't asked for it again, but I also haven't been back to that restaurant. So Stu Helm is a big foodie as well. He does food tours in addition to the cannabis tour. The food tour is probably what he is known most for on top of his Stubby Awards. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. But I've started following him on a lot of his social medias. He invited him and his public page invited me to the Asheville Cannabis Facebook group, which was really cool. That it's been really fun to be in there, and all the memes and the community around here posting dumb shit about cannabis is something that I really enjoy. And a lot of people recommending local brands and products, that's really cool to see. My coworker actually recommended that I follow his page when I first started working at this place. And of course, the second I look him up, I notice my dad is already following him. Like, you know how Instagram tells you who's following him? And my dad is probably one of the best restaurant pickers I know. So immediately I trusted that and have been excited to try out a lot of Stu's recommendations. So the goodie bag we got was a bag from Asheville Farms. And I still have it because it's amazing. And it just says Dope AF and it says Asheville Farm on it. And it's insulated and it's got Velcro. But it had all the things that we needed for the day and informational papers and candy and a pre-roll, and some of the local places had put coupons in there. It was really cool. The dispensaries we went in, most of them gave a little freebie or a little treat that we could smoke or consume on site, which was really cool. They were very different dispensaries, but they all were very interesting, and a lot of them I have returned back to since. So we started at the Consumption Lounge, Little Amsterdam. They gave us some weed, some flour, and they gave us a little coupon. You can get like cafe beverage from them and smoke product you buy from them in the shop, which is really cool. We were able to smoke the weed that they gave us, which was fun. They didn't have. We actually went on this tour pretty close to when the hurricane happened. They didn't have drinks up and running yet, but I'm pretty sure they do now. I probably went on this tour late October, maybe. It was definitely before Thanksgiving, or maybe early November. Asheville is way more up and running than they were back then, for sure. And I have not been back to Little Amsterdam yet, unfortunately. I want to, and I've been planning on it. And I keep making plans to, and then the plans fall through. So it's just hasn't happened yet. It's because it's a sit-down place. You have to smoke their stuff. It's also downtown, and not knowing where to park, which is... There's a garage near there, but sometimes there's no spaces in the garage. Can you tell I have anxiety? Also want to go with somebody. I don't like going to places like that alone. It freaks me out. I have anxiety. Sunfruit is the next dispensary that we went to. They gave us a free gram or a free edible. You could choose. Vincent picked edibles and I got a gram. And Vincent actually ate the edible, which was awesome. This store had really good packaging. It was really cool because they had the sticker, the same sticker that was on the jar for the store is the sticker that they use for the packaging. So it was really cool to see that because it has a lot of information on it. Sunfruit was another dispensary where they were very educated. You could ask a lot of different questions about their strains and kind of give them the vibe you wanted, and they gave you a flower for that vibe. The flower that I got was really decent. They have things for your pets. They have reading materials, all sorts of different types of products. I also have not been back to Sunfruit, but I don't have anything against Sunfruit. It's just downtown, and I don't go downtown a lot, honestly. So we went to Asheville Hemp Farms, which was next, and it gave apothecary. It was very, very cute, very. The vibe of the store was cool, but everything, if you look around, everything was educational. Like, a lot of the posters hanging on the wall were very educational. The pictures were cool. They had art from local artists and different small business things. Like, if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure like bath stuff, like bath bombs and stuff, soaps, that kind of stuff. They gave us a pre-roll, and they gave us a little shot of Cannabis sparkling water, which it was hit or miss. I didn't hate it. I think one of the other guys is not a fan of it, but I drank mine. But I thought it was good. I don't know. I didn't think it was bad, and I wanted to see if it would get me high, you know? But it was Cannabis sparkling water. I don't remember the brand. I did not take a picture of that. And the pre-roll, I did try that. That was black cherry soda, I believe, and I do have an episode for that coming up. Hello, me from the future. I saw, actually, that Cannabis drink again in a Franny's Pharmacy. It is called a Delta 9 drink or Drink Delta. It's drinkdelta.com. Wait, let's look at their Instagram. Yeah, Delta Seltzer. So what we had was just plain cannabis water, I think. It was just a plain. I don't think it was flavored in any way. But I bet their flavors are a lot better than the cannabis water that I had. But I really enjoyed that strain that I got from them. I can tell you right now that I probably would buy that pre-roll, and it was pretty good. They also have pet CBD. So I think this is the place that I actually bought the pet CBD at for my animals. I bought CBD oil that she said you use for both the cats and the dogs. You just give them different dosages, which is really cool that I didn't have to get different ones. It's all pet safe. I do notice that it really helps the dog. I mean, I love CBD for dogs. We've had a lot of dogs be very positively impacted by their CBD consumption and us helping them with finding it. Like, we had one dog who was a big ball of anxiety and joint pain, and it was amazing how much improved he was when he had CBD. Obviously, he wasn't perfect, but he was much improved once we started giving him CBD. So I picked some of it up because we were running low. But I do really love Patton Avenue Pet Company for my CBD treats for my dog. It's just little squares, and some of them taste like peanut butter. Some of them taste like bacon, I think. Or I don't know. They have some flavors. But it's just a little square that I think Abby's dose was either 1 or 2 squares. I can't remember. She's a 50-pound dog, though. And I've officially rambled far away from the plot. We stopped at Twisted Laurel. And now, let me tell you, this burger was the best smash burger that I had had ever. I was so high, and it hit so good. On top of that Levity Delta 8 drink that they gave us. It was a blackberry drink. It was so good. Next, we went to Skyland Cannabis. This is a place I have returned to several times since. They gave us a free little gummy and a free pre-roll, and I think I gave Vincent my gummy if I remember correctly. But I don't think I ate it on site. Their whole idea is trying to be like a little cannabis candy store, which I thought was really cute. They're trying to be very organic, and they're trying to source incredibly organic ingredients for their nerd rope and things. I have tried the nerd rope. Hey, sorry, this is me from the future again. I have to tweak this segment because I didn't talk enough about Skyland Cannabis. I went on a rant, and I don't need to include the rant here because it's long story short, had a bunch of health issues that are clearing up, but I had them for a while, and I was in the midst of trying to figure them out. I'm pretty sure we've got them settled and figured out, but fingers crossed. The high from edibles, it's a very different kind of high than any other form of cannabis, in my opinion. The other forms are much more easier to manage, and with edibles, it's very easy to overdo it. It's very easy to take an edible and then... Anyways, Skyland Cannabis, they have flower that I've enjoyed several times. I've gone and picked up flower. They have really good flower. They have had peaches and cream before, which is awesome. They are the ones I got pineapple pez from. I really love pineapple pez. I do want to try the gummies more again. So the next dispensary was Wonderland. They gave us free pre-rolls and they let us smoke in there for a little bit, which was really cool. And this one was really cool. Alice in Wonderland themed smoke shop. Glass, cannabis, all sorts of things were in here. Clothing. You really could come in here and leave with so many different objects and bits and bobs. This one was really good though. I definitely want to go back here. They had a lot of really nice pieces that I want to look at again. I want to try their cannabis because I did enjoy the pre-roll we had. The final stop on the cannabis tour was Apotheca. The Apotheca is a store that's all around Asheville. It's all around Western North Carolina. It's even spread out to Tennessee and Georgia. They're a good one-stop shop. They have everything you would want about cannabis, pieces, flower, edibles, concentrates, carts. Like I said, anything you want about cannabis, papers. My favorite thing about Apotheca, other than the free pre-roll, of course, was this really weird thing. So I have to explain some story now. So we're going into story time. A while ago, Vincent and I were trying to make edibles, and we have been using my Levo machine. I do have one of those. I'm still trying to figure out how to use it, and I'm still also trying to learn how to make edibles. So I'm not really going to review something like that until I narrow this down more. I feel comfortable reviewing like flour and concentrates and carts. Those are things I have regular experience with. I know a good deal about them and what you can do with them. Edibles, I know a lot about, but I also know nothing about, especially the making process. So one year, AJ and my friend at the time bought this Levo for me for my birthday. They're expensive as hell, so I was really thankful that they got together and bought me this thing. And we tried it a few times in Massachusetts, and then I put it away, and I didn't touch it for a long time. And a few years later, I think maybe a year or two, me and Vincent pull it out, and we start using it a few times. And I want to start pulling it out more, but I'm hoping to reorganize my apartment before I start doing that. The issue we were having with the Levo is we wanted to make more potent stuff. So We had made a batch, and Vincent tried it because I think this is after I had started my diet, so I wasn't able to eat any baked goods or anything like that. So Vincent had tried it and wanted them to be stronger so that you wouldn't have to eat as much of it, which is totally fair. I think with edibles, I really want it to cover the cannabis taste, or I don't want to have to eat that much of it in order for it to rock my world. So we were looking at how to do that with the Levo, and you can either buy another pod for the Levo, or you can buy, I can't remember what it's called, but it's this big, it's literally just a basket that you put in the Levo machine. So I was looking for that online. Of course, we couldn't find it anywhere online. We walk into Apotheca on this tour, and now, mind you, we're all so fucking high, so we're goofing off and talking to the manager, and just kind of having a good time. And then I turn around and I see Levo stuff, so of course I'm gonna go look and see if I can find this basket that's out of stock everywhere online. And what do they have? The fucking basket. I was so excited, on top of the fact that I was so high. So I immediately was like, I need to buy this, and they struggled at the register for like the rest of the weed tour, unfortunately, but I was able to listen in, and they pulled me over for the part about the pre-rolls, which was good. And finally I got this basket so I could make those freaking edibles stronger. We haven't tried it yet, but I'm very excited. I have to say, this cannabis tour was amazing. Stu is very knowledgeable about weed. He's very knowledgeable about the area and the history. He pointed out several things, like the heads on one of the buildings and why they were making weird faces like they were and stuff like that. It was I highly suggest you take one of his tours. I can only imagine the food tours are just as educational as of the area, and the food in the area, which sounds amazing. Hopefully I can get off this diet and eat normally again. I would highly recommend this tour, or probably any of his other tours. I hopefully will be taking more of them. I would love to take another cannabis tour. It's just finding the money and the budget. And hopefully when my food restrictions lighten up, I can take a food tour. But right now, I just can't see myself being able to do stuff like that. I can barely go to restaurants and order off the menu right now, so. Thank you so much for listening to this week's podcast. The best way to support the podcast is to tell your friends about me. Tell your friends to listen to the podcast. Share me with your online friends, your in-person friends, random people you don't know at the dispensary. Share me with everybody, please. That is the best way to get the podcast out. But also follow me on Instagram. I'm at the _stonery_pod. You can email me, thestonerypod@gmail.com. You can join the Discord, which should be in my Linktree link, which all of my other stuff should be there too. I will also answer Instagram DMs or emails, or please leave a review on your favorite podcast player, whatever you use. It's always helpful to have a review. I know it's nicer to look at a podcast that has a review than doesn't, you know? I tend to actually get my podcasts word of mouth. That's how I find more podcasts, either from my friends, my coworkers, or my podcasts. Honestly, some of them are because my podcast had somebody on and I fell in love with them and I wanted to listen to their podcast. But that is all, folks. Have a wonderful day and stay medicated.